It's an incredible setup here, incredible matchmaking, incredible storytelling. Oh, you had to come here. All these fighters that step in here are warriors, and I have my respect, and I'm into this game, yeah, I'll be into this, yeah.
And we are live here in the Maverick Center, here in Salt Lake City. What a night. It is going to be historic indeed for BKFC 56.
Whoever's the king of violence right here, this is going to be a great fight.
Early on the turn, right hand from my boy, double jab.
Who's the king of violence?
Combat fighting in its purest form, bare knuckle fighting in the city of angels.
We've got the biggest announcement in the BKFC history we're about to make, so let's make that announcement.
What's up, Knucklemania? The notorious Conor McGregor here. Ladies and gentlemen, the huge announcement that I have for you today. Conor McGregor, myself, and McGregor Sports and Entertainment is now an owner of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Welcome to the big leagues. David Feldman, baby, we did it.
He's now an owner of BKFC with us, and we're going to take this motherfucking thing all the way to the top now.
Level 3 has begun. This is SportsRage. I'm Morency. Let's do this thing. Mo Khan's going to step up and join us in a couple of minutes. A lot of stuff to get to with Mo. Talk some college football, NFL football, Olympics. We'll keep our eye on what's going on the diamond right now. But the Olympics continue, and we spent a lot of time talking about the men's 100 meters and the women's, for the record. And we went 0-2. We had Sha'Carri Richardson to win the women's for the USA, and I had Keishane Thompson to win the men's for Jamaica. It was literally one of the closest finishes ever. Like, literal final, and no one really knows this stuff. I mean, hardcores do. As far as, is it the nose? Is it the head? Is it, what is it? You know what I mean? And evidently it's the abdomen. It's not your foot. Because you saw one dude's foot, was over there, and you figure, all right, he wins. Look at this stuff. This was freaking crazy, man. Look at that. Look at Noah Lyles. Look at Keishane Thompson. Noah Lyles, and the announcer on NBC is getting a lot of heat because he said that, Noah Lyles win. Keishane Thompson beats Noah Lyles. Jamaica wins, and it's going to happen. It's too bad it happened at such a big stage like that for the guy. He's getting shredded for it. He's never going to live it down. It is what it is. It was a rough call for him, but look how freaking close it was. And I did learn a lesson. I've been all gung-ho on the Olympics and stuff like that, but betting the 100 meters, that really is. It's the quickest bet you're ever going to make. What sport lasts 9 seconds? Right? You make the bet. There's no it's all right. It's literally like playing a hand of blackjack. Right? You can break down, this person can't win, they can't lose, and this person's going to win and stuff. But no, I'm not going to say nobody thought that the girl from St. Lucia was going to win. She was the second choice, but she wasn't a favorite, and she freaking killed it. She looked super fast in the 200 as well, actually. Should get the odds up for that. This is what was amazing to me, though, as far as the times are concerned. Carl Lewis's gold medal run was the same time as what last place was on Saturday night / Sunday morning. You want to talk about speed differences, huh? Man, just the level of speed that they all have, but that's incredible to me. And you know what's nuts though is Ben Johnson's time. Was their time actually? When Ben Johnson was all juiced up, he ran the same time that they just ran at 9:79. So, hell of a race, really fun stuff. But for betting purposes, I learned my lesson, and I'm not going to be betting on too many 100-meter races anymore. Well, I'll put it this way. If I do, I'm just going to put a little bit on it. I put too much on it. Keishane Thompson's going to win for sure. And nothing's for sure in sports, and nothing is for sure in track and field, man. Nothing's for sure. But literally one of the greatest 100-meter races ever of all time. And the video of them celebrating in St. Lucia was just like great stuff as well, even though it cost me a lot of money. You guys know I put a lot out there on the Olympics, a lot of events, a lot of money out there. We haven't, we've done okay. There's been some losses along the way. We're sort of still waiting for a lot of stuff to come back to us right now, and we're going to have to end strong. And we were talking about the total medal count. The USA are at 21 right now. Their over-under is 39.5. I don't know where the hell they're going to find another 19 gold medals. Let's say their 2 basketball teams win. There's still a lot of sports left, all right? But they're all the very Olympic-y type of sports. I was watching the kayak and the steeplechase and stuff like this, right? So I don't know if the Americans are going to be able to get to 40. China's at 21 right now. Their over-under was 33.5. Wild stuff today in the soccer game with Egypt and France. A lot of pressure on France. And I told you guys, too, we did the Olympic special on Saturday night, and I talked about how Egypt are a very competitive, scrappy team to play against, man, in soccer. In all sports. Egyptians are just like they bring it. And they had the 1-0 lead on France late in the game. France were starting to panic a little bit, but they were creating chances. They were getting pressure. Finally, they buried one in like the 80th minute. And then they ended up going to extra time, and France scored a couple of goals. And now they will play the Spaniards, who are looking for the daily double. Spain, of course, just won the Euro Cup, and they'd like nothing better to dominate the soccer world. Take the Euro Cup, take the gold medal, and then roll into North America in 2026 and win the World Cup. So we've got some interesting. We got women's soccer coming up in the morning as well, and the United States take on Germany after Germany and Canada and their wild affair that went to penalty kicks. The USA won in extra time against Japan. It wasn't easy. Trinity Rodman gets it done. Dennis Rodman's daughter. Actually, for those of you that are unaware of this, except I think Dennis Rodman has a lot of kids, and they're not especially close. As any time she's asked about Dennis Rodman, she basically talks about her mother. So, I saw Dennis Rodman was tweeting, and he's like, he's all into it and stuff, but they're not super tight. I don't think they saw each other all that much. But Trinity Rodman leading the U.S. team right now. USA are minus 106 favorites against Germany. We just saw Germany against Canada, and quite frankly, Canada could have, should have beat them. Canada's penalty kicks were freaking terrible. Like, I would have stopped them, like, type bad. Like, they were bad. A couple of them were bad. The pressure got to them, but Germany survives. I think the USA will find a way here. We might have to do, let's see what USA are to advance. We'll put them in a parlay. But I think the USA will find a way to advance. They're minus 225 to qualify, the U.S. And the other semifinal is Brazil and Spain. Spain, of course, are the defending World Cup champions on the women's side. So we talk about like a Spain daily double and Spain taking over the soccer world. The Spanish women are on the verge of doing something special right now. And I think this is what it's going to come down to. USA versus Spain women's soccer. So these games are both tomorrow. USA and Germany, noon Eastern time, 9 a.m. Pacific time. USA minus 106, draw plus 225. Germany woman plus 320. Brazil and Spain. Brazil plus 475. People, actually, somewhat of a surprise Brazil made it this far. I don't think they're going to beat Spain, but all these games are close. So Brazil are plus 475, draws plus 280, and Spain are minus 163. This game is at 3 o'clock Eastern, noon Pacific, 9 o'clock Paris, France time. We've got men's basketball, and our boy Mo Khan's going to step up, and then we'll go over every game, including France and Canada, USA and Brazil. First game up, the Germans, a dominant German basketball team that have won 11 consecutive basketball games. Never mind the exhibition loss to the U.S. In real games, they haven't lost since 2022, Germany. in tournament action. They went 8-0 in the World Cup last year. Now they're 3-0. They're on a smooth 11-0 run right now. And I think they're going to make it 12-0 against the Greece side. The number was 7.5 all day, but now the tip-off is getting closer. The Germans are now laying 8.5 points in this game. They absolutely murdered France in their last one, so people are buying into the Germans are going to roll the Greeks. Listen, Giannis is running through walls for the Greeks, but Greece are in tough against a German team that are just a little too deep for them, I think. Serbia are still laying 7.5 against Australia right now. So Germany and Greece come up at 5 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock Pacific. I'm going to stay up and watch the Germany-Greece game, and then I'm going to shut it down and go to sleep. I'm going to miss the Serbia-Australia game because that game's at 5:30 my time. That's a weird time to be up. I've done it a few times in the Olympics, and it screws me up. And then, of course, I'm going to be up for 9 a.m. for the Canada-France game. Canada, 7.5 points right now.
What has happened? What has transpired here at the First Bank Center here in Denver, Colorado? It wasn't just a big night of fights. It was a big night of memorable moments.
Conor McGregor with us here in Denver, Colorado. Left hand from Rockhold. Right hand, right back from Mike Perry. Can I get a face-off with Conor McGregor, man?
It's an incredible setup here, incredible matchmaking, incredible storytelling. Oh, you had to come here. All these fighters that step in here are warriors, and all have my respect. And I'm into this game, yeah. We'll be into this, yeah.
And we are live here in the Maverick Center here in Salt Lake City. What a night. It is going to be historic indeed for BKFC's 56.
Whoever's the king of violence right here, this is going to be a great fight. Who's the king of violence? I am!
Combat fighting in its purest form, bare knuckle fighting in the city of angels.
We've got the biggest announcement in the BKFC history we're about to make, so let's make that announcement.
What's up, Knucklemania? The notorious Conor McGregor here. Ladies and gentlemen, the huge announcement that I have for you today. Conor McGregor, myself, and McGregor Sports and Entertainment is now an owner of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Welcome to the big leagues. David Feldman, baby, we did it.
He's now an owner of BKFC with us, and we're going to take this motherfucking thing all the way to the top now.
They're still leading 4-3 right now. We're in the top of the 8th inning. We'll keep our eye on what's going on at Chavez Ravine. I am Gabriel Morency, SiriusXM Channel 159, SportsGrid Radio and Television Network. Couple hours until tip-off right now. In the Olympic basketball, let's bring in our boy Mo Khan, who's a basketball play-by-play voice for the CEBL and statistician, TSN statistician, and more. Mo, good to see you. Thanks for joining us tonight. How you doing, Mo?
I am well, Gabe. Busy weekend in Montreal coming up with the CEBL in town for their Final Four weekend, which is Friday, Sunday. So I'll be busy as of Wednesday and beyond.
The championship weekend in the CEBL. I'll be betting on it. They'll post some point spreads later in the week. Who are the final 4 teams playing right now?
So what you have, the first game will be Calgary, Vancouver from the West. And then the wrap-up, 8 o'clock tip-off Friday night with Montreal against Niagara. So you have the host team playing Niagara and Calgary playing Vancouver. And whoever wins those 2 games will move to Sunday's final at 6 p.m. East right after the Olympic closing ceremonies, I believe, on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, I was going to say, is this the best time for them to do this? Olympic week?
Well, here's the thing, because remember, this is a league that goes from pretty much mid-May till mid-August, right? Because a lot of these guys go back to Europe, G League contracts, whatever it is. So the window's kind of tight in terms of trying to get this all in through maybe a longer period of time here. So that's why they prefer to finish as early in August to give these guys enough time to rest up or head overseas, because a lot of these guys will play in Europe or in the Far East.
And when they're playing, and the games, the Olympics aren't on at that time, actually, too, right? So, it's a good time.
Yeah, the time of the 6 p.m. East, right? The closing ceremony should be done by then, right? So it's almost like a handoff from Paris to the championship weekend final on Sunday night 6. So I don't think it should be too much of an issue moving forward, though.
I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed the action. It's very good basketball, CEBL basketball. Anytime it's been on TV, we've bet it and we've watched it. I'm sure the Final Four will be on TSN. I'm assuming, Mo, the Final Four, all the games are on TSN this weekend?
Yes, it will be on TSN National. I believe, not to reveal too many details, but I'll be involved with the radio component of this whole process, which I'll find out, I think, tomorrow at some point. So fingers crossed, I'll be on the radio side of things for the weekend.
Good stuff. And we'll break it down later in the week for everybody. Basically, most of the mainstream books. I know Bet Victor is the title sponsor, right, of the league.
Right.
So for those of you in Canada, Bet Victor does have it. But most, like a lot of other books have it as well. But when it's on TV only, right, like the nationally televised games, the sports books know it's on TV, and they'll get numbers up for it. So they will. So speaking of numbers and TV, a lot of people, there's been a lot of hype about the basketball, and now it finally gets real. There's no more margin for error. There's no more margin of victory. Now it's just win and advance, as simple as that. Listen, it's been a great story for Greece. Giannis, you could just see, man, how much he loves playing for his country, and he loves playing in the Olympics. And it's a great story that they actually won. I didn't think they were going to win a game, actually. And they end up getting in to the knockout round, but they got a tough draw here with the Germans, who I said off the top, Mo, I don't think people realize this. I think people who follow international basketball remember they won the World Cup last year. And, it wasn't the, Durant and LeBron, but they had Jason Tatum, they had Anthony Edwards, they had a bunch of players. And Germany won, and Germany have been dominant in the Olympics now. It's 11 straight wins with this unit that they're on a run here. And the fact that it's actually deeper overall. They haven't lost since 2022 internationally in real games. They lost that exhibition game, but I think Greece are in a lot of trouble here. The point spread was 7.5. It's up to 8.5. Everybody's betting on Germany, Mo.
Yeah, I think the Germans in this game, I think they have better depth to work with. And I think when you look at the guard play so far for Greece, right, it's been non-existent. And hopefully that changes for them now moving forward towards the knockout rounds. But I think for the Germans, though, that's where they can win this ball game. I think they have size to work with. Look, we know Giannis is heart and soul for Greece, but that's about it, Gabe. We spoke about it last week. He's like the Will Smith and the Bel Air prep angle, right? Of, hey, pass the ball to Giannis, let him make moves and create magic out of nothing here. But I think the Germans have far too much to work with in terms of their depth and the guard play that should be propelled into the Final Four or to the semifinals in a couple of days from now.
Yeah, really the only other scoring option they have is Papin Callo. I don't want to butcher the name here, but Papin, I just think of our boy Pianopoulos, Wee Papa. Costas Papin Callo. Yeah, he's the guy. He can pop some threes, this guy. He's like the one guy. But like you said, they don't really have point guard play. It's kind of a problem, actually, with a lot of these European teams, I noticed. Point guard. They kind of just walk the ball up the court and, hand it off to Giannis, and once in a while he'll pop it out for a three. But they're kind of offensively challenged. And Germany come at you. They play a very high tempo, fast break basketball. They like to push the ball up the court on the counterattack with Schroeder and with Wagner, and they get these, open dunks. They're a fun team to watch. It's a lot of points, 8.5, but, I keep on coming back to, the same score here. I think they're going to win by, 12 or 14. Greece will hang around. It won't be a blowout, but when it's all said and done, Germany wins. I'm going to say 84-70, Mo.
Yeah, like you mentioned, guard play for the Germans, for the Greeks. Kalathis, the former Florida Gator, right, who went to play in Europe for many years and had a cup of coffee with Memphis, I think 13, 14 years ago. He's got to be more efficient than where he's been so far in group play. He's been non-existent. If he can keep this team relevant, then they have a puncher's chance to keep it close enough, Gabe. But I agree with you. I think the point spread will be covered. I think the Germans will pull away in the fourth quarter, and they should win by 10-plus points in the end of the day.
We got a break coming up. I think we got about a minute and a half still or so. Serbia are laying 7.5 against Australia. This is kind of a trickier one. Australia haven't been great, but they're still pretty good, right? And they can still play with anybody. And Serbia dialed things up. They got all that they can handle from South Sudan. But now this is a different matchup. Just as far as containing Jokic is concerned, I think Australia can hang around in this game. They're getting 7.5. Yeah, it's a tricky one. It says 6.5 here, but it's up to 7.5. We'll hit this on the other side with Mo Khan. We'll get into Canada, France, USA, laying a ton of points against Brazil, obviously.
What has happened? What has transpired here at the First Bank Center here in Denver, Colorado? It wasn't just a big night of fight. It was a big night of memorable moments.
Conor McGregor with us here in Denver, Colorado. Good left hand from Rockball. Right hand, right back from Mike Perry. Can I get a face-off with Conor McGregor, man?
It's an incredible setup here, incredible matchmaking, incredible storytelling. Oh, you had to come here. All these fighters that step in here are warriors, and all have my respect. And I'm into this game, yeah. We'll be into this, yeah.
And we are live here in the Maverick Center here in Salt Lake City. What a night it is going to be. Historic indeed for BKFC's 56.
Whoever's the king of violence right here, this is going to be a great fight. Perry on the top. Right hand from Mike Perry. Double jab. Who's the king of violence? I am!
Combat fighting in its purest form, bare knuckle fighting in the city of angels.
We've got the biggest announcement in the BKFC history we're about to make, so let's make that announcement.
What's up, Knucklemania? The notorious Conor McGregor here. Ladies and gentlemen, the huge announcement that I have for you today. Conor McGregor, myself, and McGregor Sports and Entertainment is now an owner of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Welcome to the big leagues. David Feldman, baby, we did it.
He's now an owner of BKFC with us, and we're going to take this motherfucking thing all the way to the top now.
Level 3 continues. This is SportsRage. I am Gabriel Morency, Sirius XM Channel 159, SportsGrid Radio and Television Networks, and more. Mo Khan kicking with us. So, yeah, Serbia and Australia, this game at 8:30 in the morning, 5:30 Pacific. Brutal time for me. This is the one that I'll miss. And I'll see the highlights after. And I'm going to watch the Germany game, Mo. It's going to be 2 o'clock for me. That's fine. 2 to 4, 4:30 or whatever. I could deal with that. And then I got to wake up, though, for, 8:30, 8:45 for Canada and France. So what's your final prediction for this? Like I said, I'm with you. I think this is the trickiest game here. It's a tough one.
Yeah.
And I think Canada and France is tricky as well. But from a betting perspective, I just think that it's a little high here. Like, well, on Saturday night before we saw the point spreads, when I was saying what I thought the numbers were going to be, if you guys remember, I was bang on. I said, I think Germany are going to be like 8.5, 9-point favorites. And they were 8.5-point favorites. I said Canada are going to be 5.5-point favorites against France. They were 5.5, but it's been moved up to 7.5 right now, Canada and France. This game, I said, I think Serbia should be like 4.5. I just think 7.5 is a little high here. And I also think this will be a higher scoring game, Mo. I think there's going to be some pace to this Australia-Serbia game.
Yeah, that spread's a little rich for my liking, Gabe. But I look at Josh Giddey, and you mentioned Patty Mills before off air, and I think those two guys have to be the X factors for the Aussies to win this game here, because they're not going to compete with the Serbs inside the paint. Like, Serbia's got too much meat to work with and too much beef to go with. So they're not going to win that game here. So how can they kind of open up the Serbian defending, right? And that's to hit the three-point shots, spread them out, and hopefully have the quality shots go in their favor. And the key in this game, Gabe, will be this. Could the Australians be able to get 10 more possessions than the Serbs have in this matchup? And in those 10 extra possessions, can they convert for points? Because if they do, they got a chance to win this ball game. But I think, as we said off air, this is the trickiest one of the four because of how both teams have different styles. But that point spread really makes it a lot more weird in this whole process. That, hey, do you go with the Serbian in the point spread, or do you go with the Australian, what they can do with a three-point shot?
Mo Khan kicking with us. Canada lay 7.5 to France. One of the standout players for the Canadians. A lot of people, and listen, SGA's had a great tournament, but he's been distributing the ball. He's not being relied on to be their leading scorer and bail them out and score all the time. RJ Barrett has just been unbelievable. RJ has always played really well for Team Canada, but this has really been a good tournament for him. This is an interesting matchup now in the paint. So RJ Barrett's player prop tonight is 16.5 points. SGA's player prop is 22.5 points tonight. Dylan Brooks is 12.5. France were, they went 2-1. They've never really been in a rhythm. Right? They struggled coming together before the Olympics started. They went 0-4 in their tune-up games. And you could sense Wembanyama's frustration. I remember when they lost the last one. When they lost to Canada, he was mad. You could tell, even though it was a tune-up game, they were tired of losing. France's offense is just not clicking. Defensively, they're tough to deal with still. You got Wembanyama, you got Gobert. They take up a lot of freaking space in the paint, and then, they're not easy to score on France, even though Germany got them. But to be honest, France kind of quit in that game. It went bad for them, and they kind of tapped out late in that one. A lot of people, Mo, kind of think Canada are just going to roll them because they saw France get smashed by Germany. I'm not, if you look at Canada, Mo, they really haven't blown anybody out. They were 7.5-point favorites against Greece. They won by 7. They were 5.5-point favorites against Australia. I think they won by 9. It was a close game, though, in the fourth quarter with 4 minutes left, and Canada sort of hit a bunch of free throws late, ended up covering the number. In every game they played, Canada has had a double-digit lead at some point, and they pretty much, relinquished the lead all the time. We saw that in their last game against Spain. This is going to be a slugfest. I think Canada survives, Mo, but I don't think it's going to be as easy as some people think. What's your take?
Yeah, no, and remember, against Spain, right, Spain made that comeback when they're down 9 with about 3.5 minutes left in the ball game, right, to get it down to 1. But I think in this situation is Canada's shot making, right, because they don't got the size game to match up with the French interior. So can they kind of pull out Wembanyama and the bigs to come play the perimeter shooting of Canada? Remember, Nembhard has played very well. Barrett's been phenomenal. I like that point line that they have for him. I think he goes over 16 points, if not more than that. At the end of the day for Canada, though, SGA is the centurion of what they run. He's the central figure of what they run in offense here. If they're going to crash on him, right, with the double, if not triple team blitz, then he's got to find the right pass to break through the press here. And if he does that, Gabe, he could, or Canada, Big Brian, could expose the French on the run going forward from one end to the other end of the court.
More on the other side. Let's roll.
an incredible setup here, incredible matchmaking, incredible storytelling. Oh, you had to come here. All these fighters that step in here are warriors, and all have my respect. And I'm into this game, yeah. We'll be into this, yeah.
And we are live here in the Maverick Center here in Salt Lake City. What a night it is going to be. Historic indeed for BKFC 56.
Whoever's the king of violence right here, this is going to be a great fight. Early on the turn, right hand from my boy, double jab. Who's the king of violence? I am!
Combat fighting in its purest form, bare knuckle fighting in the city of angels.
80 seconds.
We've got the biggest announcement in the BKFC history we're about to make, so let's make that announcement.
What's up, Knucklemania? The notorious Conor McGregor here. Ladies and gentlemen, the huge announcement that I have for you today. Conor McGregor, myself, and McGregor Sports and Entertainment is now an owner of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Welcome to the big leagues. David Feldman, baby, we did it.
He's now an owner of BKFC with us, and we're going to take this motherfucking thing all the way to the top now.
Talking about RJ Barrett and the great Olympics that he's had. He's leading Team Canada with 21 points per game. SGA is scoring 19 points per game. RJ Barrett is ranked 4th in scoring in the tournament. I'm surprised that RJ Barrett's the leading point getter for Canada, but I've already lost my prop that I had. So this is one of the lower totals as well, Mo. The sports books are expecting a lower scoring game with Canada. I can't really argue that premise. When you consider, we can talk about France's offensive struggles, but they are very good defensively. Let's just be real.
Yeah.
You got Rudy Gobert and Victor Wembanyama. So they're good defensively, but Canada are pretty good defensively as well, right? As long as Dort and Brooks stay on the floor. They're very, Canada are good defensively. They've gotten sloppy in the fourth quarter, taking the pedal off the metal. Now it's an elimination game. Maybe they'll have more of a killer instinct. They seem to sort of just be happy to be surviving and advancing while we talked about Germany or just killing teams. So 7.5 is a little dangerous here, Mo, for Canada. What's your prediction? Canada wins by how many points?
By 4 or 5. 7.5 is far too rich for my blood. Again, we go back to the body of work of Canada so far, Gabe. The Greece game, they kind of squeeze it out, right? Talk about Australia, that was one with a little bit of comfort at the end. The Spain game was what really rang the alarms for me, saying, man, you're up by 9 with 3.5. You got to kill off the Spaniards and not give them a chance. And Spain had a chance at the end, right, with that Hail Mary half-court shot. But the thing is, Gabe, when you're playing as essentially a road team in the home country of France, in Paris, or Lille for that matter, the home side will be pro-France. And that's going to be key for them is how do they react?
30,000 of them.
Yeah, exactly, right? How
it's a big arena.
React early on? It is, right? And how will they react to it, right? And I think for them, the key will be, again, the penetration of the French defending. Can they get out the bigs from the paint and really attack the rim? Because you got Barrett, you got SGA, you got Nemhart, who's been phenomenal off the bench here. They have guys who can really cut and go against the grain here. But the reality is, will the French blitz SGA when he has the ball, bring the ball up court here? And if they do so, he's got to find that right pass, which is the open man that can really open up the avenues of what they can do from a run and gun perspective here. So that's going to be key. That first pass at midcourt and how they are able to kind of loosen up the French screws here for them to get to the rim with ease, not to face the dreadnoughts that they have with their big men out there.
I think, guys, that a moneyline parlay might be a safer way to go in this. And my support for Team Canada, but I'm with Mo. I think this is going to be a tougher game than a lot of people realize. I think Canada will find a way. That 7.5 is high. Like I could see Canada winning by 6, 80-74. You know what I mean? 79-75 or something like that. I think it'll be a battle. Like we said, guys, Canada have played to the point spread in every one of their games, right? Like they let Spain come back, so they didn't cover there. They were 7.5-point favorites against Greece. They won by 7. 5.5 against Australia. It was a pretty close game. It was close at the half. Canada sort of pulled away in the final couple of minutes. They got it done there. But, man, as Mo stated, you're playing France in France. And I don't want to put too much, actually, into that last game where they got smoked by Germany. France knew they were advancing. They were losing. And, you could kind of tell they took the pedal off the metal in that game. So, moneyline parlay with Germany and Canada pays minus 162 if you want to eliminate the point spread. Brazil and USA, Mo. USA are laying 26.5 points right now. It's come down a little bit. It was 28.5. It's down to 26.5. It's always difficult in the betting world, Mo, when you're talking about point spreads this big. You know what it's like? It's like the NCAA tournament, like the first game of the tournament.
Yeah.
I don't know, like the team, do they want to win by 28? Like, you know what I mean? Or do they not care? Like we said, right? Winning margin doesn't matter. So if the U.S. is winning by 18 with 4 minutes left, I don't think they're going to be in a panic. They're not covering the point spread. But are Brazil going to hang around with them? Or is this where USA starts to dial it up a notch now that we're at the knockout stage and they want to get a rhythm going?
I don't think they covered the point spread, but they definitely won by 15 plus, like 15 to 20 points. I think that's where their target number is. Because, again, Gabe, they know that Brazil isn't what it once was 15, 16 years ago. There's no Anderson Varejao coming in through the doors that they have to go up against. But I think in this context here, for Steve Kerr, it's been a good build-up for his team, right, where they've had these tricky games. They've had their moments of glory, then they have their moments of hiccups as well. If they get by the Brazilians, then I think in the next round, whoever they face, whether it's the Serbs or not, or Australians, they're going to turn up a notch here. And I think they know that it's more important, obviously, to not lose his game, which is a knockout round for them. But the reality is that if he gets his rotation correct here, and he's been working guys in and out here, keeping guys fresh because of matchups that they've gone up against so far in the first 3 games, but now he can rely on that 10 to 12-man rotation that he might go with, and keep the guys fresh, because if they're up by 13, 14, 15 points here, he can put in his young guys, put them in that experience mode to say, hey, guys, in case person A goes down, you're ready to go against Serbia or Australia or even the gold medal game, whoever we might face at that point by the time it's Saturday afternoon.
And the U.S., obviously being the number 1 team, gets this matchup against Brazil. It's a good tune-up for them here. I'm a little bit hesitant here. I do think the U.S. are going to start to dial it up a notch and want to start to flex their muscles a little bit. One thing, though, they've had a great matchup against Serbia, right? They tattooed Serbia in an exhibition game. They drilled Serbia in this game. So the U.S. wouldn't mind getting Serbia, and they also don't fear the Australians. The U.S. will be going to the gold medal game. So, Mo, I brought it up earlier, the soccer today. Man, it looked for a while like France were in trouble against Egypt. Spain get through. Spain are in a gold medal game. And I also wonder, too, you can't really, I'm not going to say you're going to have a letdown in a semifinal game in the Olympics playing in your host country on your home soil like they were, but they were coming off a very emotional win against Argentina. And, and I sort of got the feeling, and they knew this, that it was like, we can't lose to Argentina. If we lose after, fine. It's almost like Michigan, Ohio State, Bama, Auburn. Whatever happens after happens. But as long as we win this game and beat these sons of bitches, we're going to be happy. So they were stoked they beat Argentina. And I knew Egypt were going to be a load to deal with. They are all the time. But, man, they were up 1-0 going into the 80th minute. And then France breaks through, ties the game, pulls away in extra time. Fortunately, they have until Friday right now because they were drained by the end of that game. It's hot there. It was a long-ass game, man. Went to extra time. There was a lot of added time the whole time. There were a million delays in the game with controversy and stuff. Yeah. So they'll have time to regroup. But what a run by Spanish soccer right now. Women in the semifinals, men's in the finals. They won the Euro Cup.
And don't forget, women's won the World Cup last August, right? So they are running football worldwide. And we spoke about this game before the Olympics began. You had asked me, who do you think could win the men's draw? And I said it would be Spain. I'm still sticking with Spain for what they've built up here. They have a lot less questions right now, Gabe, in terms of their tactics that they're going with. I think for Thierry Henry, he's trying to re-image himself because of the fact that he failed at Montreal in the MLS. Hasn't really caught on to be a club manager yet or a national team manager. But this is his moment here that if he could perhaps get and win that gold medal for France, it puts his status, his stock at an all-time high to get back into club coaching down the road here. But I think for the French, though, there is that immense pressure, Gabe, and they have to have better starts than what they've not done so far at this tournament. If they get the first goal, this eases the stress on them, Gabe, because they're not chasing the game as they were against the Egyptians. And you're right, the Egyptians are very plucky in these type of tournaments here. And again, had the Egyptians won this matchup here, it would have been a serious inquiry about Thierry Henry and the French national team at the Olympics and why they failed and had an early exit at this point of the tournament.
Yeah, I agree with you as far as our restock. If he wins this, it'll be hard to deny. He's wanted jobs. He wouldn't minded the U.S. job, actually. He was an assistant with Belgium, as you stated. Things didn't go great with Montreal, but I don't know if anyone can coach that team, to be honest.
What has happened? What has transpired here at the First Bank Center here in Denver, Colorado? It wasn't just a big night of fights. It was a big night of memorable moments.
Conor McGregor with us here in Denver, Colorado. Look, left hand from Ron Paul. Right hand, right back from Mike Perry. Can I get a face-off with Conor McGregor, man?
It's an incredible setup here, incredible matchmaking, incredible storytelling. Oh, you had to come here. All these fighters that step in here, warriors, and all have my respect. And I'm into this game, yeah. We'll be into this, yeah.
And we are live here in the Maverick Center here in Salt Lake City. What a night it is going to be. Historic indeed for BKFC 56.
Whoever's the king of violence right here, this is going to be a great fight. Perry on the turn. Right hand from my Perry, double jab. Who's the king of violence? I am!
Combat fighting in its purest form, bare knuckle fighting in the city of angels.
We've got the biggest announcement in the BKFC history we're about to make, so let's make that announcement.
What's up, Knucklemania? The notorious Conor McGregor here. Ladies and gentlemen, the huge announcement that I have for you today. Conor McGregor, myself, and McGregor Sports and Entertainment is now an owner of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Welcome to the big leagues. David Feldman, baby, we did it.
He's now an owner of BKFC with us, and we're going to take this motherfucking thing all the way to the top now.
Level 3 continues. Countdown to tip-off is on. Germany and Greece are the first ones up. We got you up to date with the soccer. I thought, listen, France or Spain. I had Spain in the Euro Cup. I was thinking, you know what, it wouldn't surprise me if they won the Olympics as well. But when push came to shove, I decided the odds were low, too. Like, France were plus 225, Spain were plus 250, Argentina were plus 300, and then there was everybody else after. So it's not a shock that we're here. And Spain haven't been perfect here either, but France, similar to the senior team in the Euro, France are having a hard time burying goals. They're not giving up goals. They gave up one goal today. It was the first goal in the tournament they gave up. So similar to their men's team, they're hard to score on, but they had a hard time finishing. I wonder, though, today, Mo, the finishing touches and the fancy, cute goals started to go in for them, right? It came together for them. Elise came up with the big goal late. Like I said, It started to flow for them a little bit, their offense. I think they're going to have some confidence So this game's a toss-up, bro. Spain and France, Friday in France. It wouldn't shock me if it went to penalty kicks, Mo, and if it was draw after 90 minutes. One thing I'll say, I don't think there'll be a lot of goals in this game. Like one goal could win the game.
And you see a pattern now, Gabe, whether it's the senior side or even like U21s or U23s. When you get deeper into the tournament, they're playing lower block now, right? They're just waiting for the mistake to counter the opposition for a chance or two along the way here. So I don't think early on we'll see any free-flowing football on the pitch here. You might see one or two chances midway through, but I think as we go deeper and deeper, if this game's maybe 1 goal margin or no goals or tied, whatever it is, after 75 minutes, whatever it might be, there's going to be a lot of lower blocks here. And the question is, who can unlock those lower blocks? I think the Spaniards have a little bit more to work with quality of playmakers than France does. But you mentioned the X Factor, Michael Olise. He's having a wonderful tournament so far for the French. He's going to go to Bayern Munich this season. And this could be his moment now, Gabe, to build that momentum to say he can be the man for France in 2026 and beyond for the World Cup and Euro Cups coming up for this country.
And it's not quite the Euro Cup, but considering it is in France and we're seeing how important it is, these whole Olympics have just had an extra edge about it. You saw Scotty Scheffler break down in tears after winning. We're talking about a guy that's won majors before. The tennis, the American women, Simone Biles talked about it. She basically said that there's a very tense atmosphere in the arenas and in the stands. It has just an extra edge to it. The track and field is a little different, I notice. The track crowd and the track and field athletes seem to be a lot friendlier with each other than a lot of the other ones. They support each other. Because I think they know they're not really racing against each other. They're racing against themselves, right? I'm trying to get my best time here. Well, it's sort of like golf. Like, you're not really playing against other people. You're playing your score. Yeah, you put your score up, and you can't, you can't control other people. So you're not really against them. But it has been a very intense games, and the 100 meters was absolutely insanity. One of the closest 100-meter finishes of all time. You're not going to get bigger drama than that, Mo.
No, you won't. Noah Lyles well-deserved for what he did. We can look at it from this perspective, right? The Americans have been a background shadow, pretty much, in the 100-meter race game since when? 2008? When Usain Bolt and the Jamaicans took over this whole thing here. And the Americans have not been as prominent as they once were. And now this builds up for them, Gabe, going towards L.A., that they could regain their throne as being the track king and queens of this whole event, track and field that is, in 2028 here. But this definitely has brought more of an appetite for the 200-meter final that we'll have, and, of course, for the 4x100 meter that we'll have later on this week. So I can't wait for those events to come up later on this week, Gabe, because it's been fun to watch for the track and field events.
Yeah, we haven't really had a star. Like, coming into this, there's not a breakout star in the world. Noah Lyles is kind of the biggest name in America, but he's not like a full-out superstar.
He's older, though. He's older,
yeah,
though, right? He's like 26, 27, so there's not much to build upon, though.
Keishane Thompson, he's been around a while, right? Yeah. So that's the other thing. He's not like, and the thing is, Noah Lyles didn't even think he was going to win the 100, right? Noah Lyles' main thing is the 200 meter. So it's kind of a bonus that he won the 100, right? So for him, but that final, Keishane Thompson should have a hell of a career. He's only 22 as well, so he'll be back in LA in 2028. So it did get some excitement around this, and we still have the 200s coming up. And speaking of the 200 women, the St. Lucia, Alfred wins. Absolutely awesome stuff. The celebration there, Mo, was through the hook. And Julian Alfred, she looks freaking fast in the 200 again. Although Gabby Thomas is the favorite at minus 225. Alfred was blazing today in the heats. And then you got a big drop-off here. I don't know if Alfred could pull off the double here, but, that was an incredible run. I felt bad for Sha'Carri Richardson, and I felt bad for me because I bet on Sha'Carri, but Alfred was just blazing freaking fast. But Gabby Thomas is a minus 225 favorite here in the 200.
Yeah, to go back to the 100-meter final with the women's, it wasn't even close. So, Richardson didn't really have a good jump out of the blocks. Alfred did. And by the 30, 40-meter mark, you kind of had a feeling that she was going to win it. And she did, right? And it was such a seminal moment for St. Lucia to get this Because, again, we talk about track and field game and the momentum that's going to be for LA and what it can be. This is massive for St. Lucia because this might open up more doors for her to become the face and diva of this whole process here. So I think this is great. And now the rivalry with her and Richardson will be fun to watch if it does go beyond this year for what could be a fun, couple of years that they'll have racing each other on the pro circuits that they'll go up against the next couple of seasons.
Yeah, I'm happy for Alfred too. She's going to make some money now too on the pro circuit, and endorsements, and everything else. So, Mo, the NFL season started with some controversy. We couldn't get the game through. Bettors were in a panic. A game has to be played 55 minutes for it to be official. We've got a full slate of preseason football. We've talked a lot about the Raider quarterback situation, and the open competition continues. No one is playing very well, actually, which isn't very good news for the Raiders in the sense that, neither of them look great in camp. They both had their moments, but Pierce has been very open about it. He said they're both going to play a quarter against the Vikings.
It's an incredible setup here, incredible matchmaking, incredible storytelling. Oh, you had to come here. All these fighters that step in here are warriors, and all have my respect. And I'm into this game, yeah. We'll be into this, yeah.
And we are live here in the Maverick Center here in Salt Lake City. What a night it is going to be. Historic indeed for BKFC 56.
Whoever's the king of violence right here, this is going to be a great fight.
Early on the turn, right hand from my very double champion.
Who's the king of violence? I am!
Combat fighting in its purest form, bare knuckle fighting in the city of angels.
We've got the biggest announcement in the BKFC history we're about to make, so let's make that announcement.
What's up, Knucklemania? The notorious Conor McGregor here. Ladies and gentlemen, the huge announcement that I have for you today. Conor McGregor, myself, and McGregor Sports and Entertainment is now an owner of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Welcome to the big leagues. David Feldman, baby, we did it.
He's now an owner of BKFC with us, and we're going to take this motherfucking thing all the way to the top now.
All right, we're into the home stretch here. A couple of minutes left. And the Brandon Ayuk, we talked about this briefly earlier in the program. The Ayuk talks with the 49ers are going nowhere, and it seems inevitable. They can't afford him. They're going to have to trade him. He wants $30 million a year, and they don't have it. They're going to have to pay Brock Purdy. They've already paid everybody on the team. He's going to end up being the odd one out here. They drafted Purcell for a reason. I don't know why they're delaying this. I don't know, but the season's coming up here, Mo, and Ayuk's people are getting impatient right now, and I'm with them, actually. I don't think this is like a diva type of situation. If the Niners have to make up their freaking mind, Mo, right? They've had all this time to decide, and here we are right now, and they're not anywhere near close. The reports are they're nowhere near close, these two parties, and it seems inevitable. Ayuk is just telling them, just trade me and get this thing over with right now. And if you're another team in the NFL, you've got to set your roster, Mo, here. Like, this thing has to, like, be decided. I think it probably will be in the coming days, probably by the end of the week, early next week, going into the weekend. I think this stuff will start to move. The Athletic is reporting that the Pittsburgh Steelers have been the most aggressive with their inquiries. Pittsburgh Steelers, Cleveland Browns, and the New England Patriots, of all people, interested in Ayuk. I think there'd probably be another few other teams, Mo, but I just don't see how they're going to be able to figure this out with Ayuk right now.
Well, Gabe, first off, Ayuk has no leverage in this situation. There's none. Because right now, the Niners hold all the cards to this equation and what they can do with Ayuk. Now, if you're San Fran, you're not going to trade Gabe at this point in the year, because if you trade for draft picks, you don't know where those picks will be come April. And that's the biggest part for San Fran to say, well, why should we do this trade now? And I think for San Fran, they can keep Ayuk if they want after the season, because remember, Deebo Samuel, they can get off that contract and a couple others to kind of build credit towards him, and of course towards Brock Purdy for what they have to pay for him after who knows when. But I think right now for Ayuk, I beg your pardon, he does not have the leverage that he thinks he does, because again, San Fran controls all the cards, Gabe, and they can do whatever they want. If he wants to hold out, that's all good, because they got Pearsall in there and they got other weapons to work with, and eventually he will have to report at some point here. So right now, San Fran's just chilling out, waiting for things to unfold, and thankfully for them, knock on wood, they've had no injuries to report yet until we get to week one in a few weeks from now.
The thing is, the San Francisco 49ers gave Ayuk's agent permission to go and seek a deal, right? So, yeah, I know, but the point is they're doing him. It's not a way to handle this if you're the 49ers. Like, you can't, you've paid everybody and you're going to squeeze this guy and treat him like this. It'll be a problem, but you're right. Listen, nobody in the NFL has any leverage, right? That's the way that they made it. The only ones that have the leverage are the owners. And that's on the NFLPA, but I don't think he'll end up going back, because they're going to, they can't kick this down they can't just keep not paying him all the time. They're going to have to deal with this. And wide receivers right now, Mo, the market has been set. We see the same thing in Dallas, where if you're an NFL team, the longer you wait, the worse off you are with this stuff. For sure. Just point blank, right? Like the Cowboys have put themselves in a position right now where look what Tua's made and all these other guys have made. They're screwed. Like, they got to give Dak Prescott $60 million a year now because they waited. No, for sure. They could have just did this before and given him 40 and gotten away with it. Like, teams are dumb to wait so long unless they know we're not actually going to keep them in the end.
Yeah, no, look. At the end of the day, like, as I said before, after the season, win or lose, whatever happens to the Niners season, they can get off of Deebo's contract. That saves them money to keep Ayuk in the fold, because, again, Ayuk has had better numbers than Deebo's had when you do the side-by-side comparison the first 3-4 years of NFL careers. So I think right now for San Fran, for John Lynch, for Kyle Shanahan, you don't have to do anything, Gabe. You can just chill out and wait for things to unfold. And if there's a team out there that's going to offer you multiple first-round picks or high-end picks, then you think about it. But again, you're not going to trade with the team without knowing where they're going to be picking come April 28th when the draft's held in Green Bay, when we get back to that talk back in next spring.
And the problem is, too, teams never get back anything good for wide receivers. We've seen this time and time again. And the Niners have put themselves in a situation where teams kind of know they're up against it here right now, so they're not going to be overly gratuitous with their offers. Mo Khan, TSN. Sports always good, Mo. Thanks for joining us tonight. We'll catch up with you next week. The Olympics will be done. Shout out to our boy Frankie and Master Control tonight. We'll see you on the Pharrell Show tomorrow. Follow me on Twitter at SportsRage. I'll post all my picks. Other than that, you're on your own later.
What has transpired here at the First Bank Center here in Denver, Colorado? It wasn't just a
incredible setup here, incredible matchmaking, incredible storytelling. Oh, you had to come here. All these fighters that step in here are warriors, and all have my respect. And I'm into this game, yeah, we'll be into this, yeah.
And we are live here in the Maverick Center here in Salt Lake City. What a night it is going to be. Historic indeed for BKFC 56.
Whoever's the king of violence right here, this is going to be a great fight. Early on the top. Right hand from my very double champion. Who's the king of violence? I am!
Combat fighting in its purest form, bare knuckle fighting in the city of angels.
80 seconds.
We've got the biggest announcement in the BKFC history we're about to make, so let's make that announcement.
What's up, Knucklemania? The notorious Conor McGregor here. Ladies and gentlemen, the huge announcement that I have for you today. Conor McGregor, myself, and McGregor Sports and Entertainment is now an owner of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Welcome to the big leagues. David Feldman, baby, we did it.
He's now an owner of BKFC with us, and we're going to take this motherfucking thing all the way to the top now.
The Bostonian is Matt Perrault.
This is our city.
The book is Dave Sherapan.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
Together, they are the Bostonian versus the book.
You covered! You covered! 12 covered!
Follow the show on Twitter at Boston versus the book.
How do you like them apples?
Bringing you the best insight on sports betting news, Matt and Dave's daily picks, and an entertaining and unfiltered dive into the sports betting industry. Here's Dave Sherapan and Matt Perrault.
And here we go.
What's up, boys and girls? How are you? Welcome into a Monday morning episode of the Bostonian versus the Book. It's pretty much the afternoon, though, everywhere. Technically morning here on the West Coast in Las Vegas. Dave Sherapan, Matt Perrault. We're live on YouTube at Boston versus the Book. Same on Twitter, X, and replayed on Sirius XM, channel 159, and on SportsGrid TV 6 times a week, basically, here on SportsGrid and Sirius XM. You late night owls, thank you for watching. You guys live, getting the live chat. We got a lot of cool things getting going here today. Dave, how are you? We had a fun night last night. Our boys from St. Louis and G7 are in the chat as we speak.
Love it. Love it. I mean, we got so many things to talk about today. Full rundown of stuff. But yeah, I see the G7 in there. And Dave and Dave, me, Dave, Matt, all met last night. And that'll be one of my favorite things about today, which we do at the end of the show. Yeah, this is another Monday. It's the last Monday of summer vacation, Perrault. I cannot believe it. It doesn't feel right. Everyone else back east is going on vacation.
Except Florida, though, by the way. Florida went back today.
To school?
Yeah, Florida's back today. My friend's kids are someplace in Florida, and then Tennessee went back today, too. Nashville's back in school today, too.
Too early.
Yeah, for those East Coast people in Midwest or middle part of the country people, I was like, wait, what? I thought we were the first. Nope, they're the first. They go a whole week before us.
Yeah, it's too early. I don't know. First of all, shout out everybody that watches the show in Florida and everything going on down there with all this rain. I got Merges down there giving me updates. He's out, making sure his car doesn't flood, roll down the street and water and all this other stuff. All of you hope everything's going to be okay. And, that rain stops at some point. It ain't stopping.
No,
I mean, it's
horrible.
a hurricane.
Yeah,
man, it's bad.
You got a bunch of next week's Maximus is coming in. Merges said, back-to-back hurricanes. Hurricane season, August.
The irony when they name the hurricane somebody's name that you know,
right?
It's just automatic material.
But it is funnier when it's a woman that you know. That is funny.
Grandma here, Hurricane Debbie.
Right. When that rolls through, like, that's funny. Like you can be like, yep, been through that before.
I almost got bags and put it by the door downstairs. Said, what are you doing? Hurricane Debbie's coming through. I didn't want to I didn't want to incite a riot though, so I didn't do it. But
I like that.
it's ready made. But yeah, shout out to everybody down there and watching. Maximus is coming next. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, I haven't.
DM.
I used to love Hurricane because when I lived in Alabama, we had to pay attention because, well, it hit the state quite a bit. Like we had hurricanes, and we'd always get the outer bands that after it hit land and broke up. But you'd get like the tornado watches and the heavy thunderstorm warnings and all that stuff. Living in Alabama, so for 5 years I was glued to it. But even in Iowa and Nebraska, you would get the remnants coming through.
Does Missouri get them?
Yeah, of course. Well, it's the remnants though. As it goes through the country, just depends on how the jet stream goes. And yeah, they don't get hurricanes, but they get the remnants of it. They get the rain that can hit.
It's remnants, not remnants. You added
Remnants.
a syllable
Remnants.
like I did Konowinski.
The remnants.
It's remnants.
Remnants?
Remnants.
Remnants doesn't sound
Remnants?
right. It's the remnants of it. Yeah.
Oh, remnants. All right.
I think
Well,
I'm right.
either way, JC from KC, I got the Cardinal stuff on today for a reason.
Yes.
But I'll be on SportsGrid later with Ranieri, and I'll give you a sneak peek. You know what I'm wearing tonight. I didn't want to come on in the Royal stuff today because P. Ralt's a Boston guy. It says Bostonian versus the book. I don't want to piss him off. We were hanging out last night.
It's okay.
Paxton's pitching today.
We tend to play really well.
Boston today. Good luck. You take him. But I'll be in the Royal
we tend to
stuff
play
tonight.
pretty well in Kansas City. I mean, remember, I got nearly thrown out of there for life for wearing Red Sox gear in the press box. I've told you this story before. Took a busload of listeners. Almost, yeah. They threatened it. They told me if I ever come back wearing Red Sox gear again, they would physically remove me from the press box.
Physically remove you?
That's what my boss was told. If you send your afternoon drive show host down here once again wearing Red Sox gear in our press box, we will physically remove him.
I would have gone in full uniform with
Right?
cleats the next day. Click, 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 click. What are you doing?
Yep.
Just watching a game. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that was one of the funny that was